Let's continue with the tutorial on editor. In this part, we'll learn the settings for text boxes. Just like with buttons, you can drag a text box to change its position and resize it. However, the text inside the box won't overflow, and it will automatically wrap based on the box's size. Let's tap on Advanced Settings to explore the text box's settings. You'll find configurations for default display, text content, and text color, which are similar to button settings. You can set the text size and the font for the text boxes. You can choose from 3 different fonts and adjust the horizontal and vertical alignment. Here, you can configure the text box's background settings, including changing the background color. You can also adjust its opacity. At the bottom, you'll find event settings which work the same way as button settings. Text boxes can also interact with events and be controlled for displaying and hiding. You can refer to Part 1 for more details on this aspect. So, that concludes the settings for text boxes. When making maps involving buttons and text boxes, we often use the following methods to trigger their display and hiding. One method is using buttons to control text boxes. For example, here, pressing the button triggers A, and releasing it triggers C. If you set the events to show and hide the text box, 2, A, and C respectively, you can use the button to control the text box's visibility. When you hold the button, the text box appears, and when you release it, the text box disappears. This method is frequently used in creating dialogues or stage introductions, among other situations. The second method involves using event areas. The enter and leave events of an event area correspond to the display and hide events of text boxes. This way, entering an event area will display the event, and leaving it will hide it. Apart from event areas, switch areas are also commonly used. Let's set them to touch and character, and turn on continuous triggering. The events of switching the trigger to on and off also correspond to the display and hide events of buttons and text boxes. Now, let's playtest it. When we enter the event area on the left, the button is displayed. When we enter the switch area on the right, it also displays. Although they both display, they have differences. In a multiplayer game, if someone enters a switch area and triggers a button or text box, the same content will be displayed for other players in the game. However, buttons and text boxes triggered by event areas will only be visible to players within those event areas but not to others. When making maps, you need to consider the multiplayer aspect and then choose the appropriate areas for displaying buttons and text. Finally, let's learn about the use of assist. When you need to arrange multiple text boxes neatly, it can be challenging to align them manually. In such cases, you can use the assist feature. Enable it. Press and hold this icon to move the assist to the desired position. Let's move the buttons or text boxes next to the assist, and they will automatically move to the assist. By using assist, you can arrange buttons and text boxes more neatly. So, that wraps up the usage of buttons and text boxes. Let's review what we've learned today one last time. Alright, that's it for this tutorial. See ya next time.